Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Newhart with Science Based Body, and this is the Economic Fitness Podcast channel. On this channel, we are going to provide you with ways to keep your body and mind in top peak physical condition in an environment of sedentary work environments. It is our perspective that blood flow is equal to cash flow. And if you cut off the blood flow, you cut off the cash flow. We hope you enjoy our information. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us again on the Economic Fitness podcast / television show. I have a wonderful guest today. He is actually a good friend of mine, and he is the owner of Brown PC. As we were talking beforehand, I just didn't feel like I would do justice to his background, so I would really love for him to go into that for us. But I would like to welcome everybody, or welcome Larry Brown and introduce him to everybody. And Larry, welcome. Thank you for coming on the show today. If you wouldn't mind, please go just one more time, just as we were talking beforehand. Tell me about your background.
Oh, I'm happy to. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
It's an honor to be here. So, not that special. I mean, I started in law practice here 28 years ago, and Brown PC is the firm. We've got a very, very hyper niche practice. We do tax litigation, usually very, very high-end, large dollar cases and some criminal tax representation.
Sure.
And we've been at it for, again, 28 years. I left the Department of Justice. I was with the tax division in Washington. And then before that, I was a naval officer. I was a Navy JAG officer. Yeah, wow. So it's been a great run. I'm grateful. It's been good.
So I know that being a lawyer, it requires a lot. It requires a lot mentally. It requires a lot physically. I mean, it's an all the time on job, is it not? I mean, is it stressful?
Oh, it absolutely is. And it in terms of what we struggle with from a fitness and health perspective in our society, it combines a lot of the worst factors. Sure. I mean, it's sedentary. It's very rewarding, but very, very stressful. The hours are long. So all of the ingredients to create that health.
You are in phenomenal shape, though.
And, you're kind. Yeah.
And I always see you exercising in the club, here at Vigor Active. So I see you exercising your body. What else do you do to keep your body in shape?
One of the things I like to do in terms of my approach to fitness is just keep it fun, keep it interesting, change it up. So resistance training is probably the most important thing over the years. I feel like, especially as you age, to keep that muscle mass, to keep the bones hard, it's extremely important. So resistance training is the backbone of my program. And from there, I do cardio. We've set up a little gym in our office. I've got a Peloton and a rowing machine.
Wow.
So, again, resistance is the backbone. Cardio, I do yoga, I meditate, I tried a Pilates class at the yoga studio the other day. So yeah, and just keep it interesting, keep it fun.
I like that you said resistance training is the backbone, because after dabbling with all the different kinds of exercise you can do out there, you can run down the street, you can do cardiovascular exercise, you can go stretch, you can go do this, or you can lift heavy weights. And I've always found there's something about lifting heavy weights that just I don't know. It centers my mind. It seems to get my heart rate up enough. It keeps me flexible. It's just like kind of the all-encompassing exercise modality. I don't know. And then the others for me kind of fall out around the edges. I know there's some people that are just all about running, but so what do you feel about that? Or
I feel the same way. I don't know if it's because I got exposed to resistance and weight training at an early age. I was in the 7th grade. And at the time, I mean, I was an athlete in the 70s and in early 80s. And, when I was a kid, the thought was, hey, don't lift too much, you'll get muscle bound, and don't drink water at practice. I mean, just these archaic ideas. And my dad was always, just kind of push the edge of the envelope thinker. And his thinking was, hey, wait a second, any matchup, football, wrestling, if everything else is equal, the stronger guy's going to win.
Yeah.
Get in there and lift. Don't listen to these guys.
So they were muscle bound, like you'd get too big? Is that what the mentality?
What kind of a mentality tells you don't drink water in August and 2 days? So I don't know where the thinking came from, but no, it was legitimately a thing in the mid 70s. It was, hey, you don't want to get muscle bound. I think the thought was that, like the bodybuilders that were on stage, maybe that was a less athletic person because he was so muscular. I don't know what the thinking was, but it was a thing.
Well, what somebody said to me the other day, which actually it kind of made a lot of sense, and it's something I'll probably always say. he said, resistance training is resistance training, and meaning every single day in life we hit resistance. You're going to have a new client that maybe is disgruntled, and it happens every now and then, and you'll have to navigate and push through that properly. So there was your resistance for the day. Should you choose not to and take the wrong route, all of a sudden that whole thing just crumbles down and falls apart. And so resistance training, I felt, that's probably why I love it so much, always gives me the ability to push through every single little bit of resistance that comes into my life. Hey, do you want to interview people on a podcast and talk about, corporate exercise and how people keep their body in shape? I could have said no, but I didn't. I said yes. And I believe that the exercise programs always help you push through those things that, how would we really relate them? It's unaccustomed, it's unusual to you. It's a little scary, and whether you choose to do it or not, usually it does or does not limit your growth in life, I feel. So I'll always kind of follow that. I think from now on, or at least for the next few years, I'll follow that saying. Resistance training is resistance training, especially for life,
And that's the way to live life, right? On that edge, being challenged.
So. I think so, maybe. Or maybe I just try to do too much.
But there is nothing, I mean, you mentioned the feel of doing squats and the heavy lifts.
Yeah.
And to me, there's nothing like it. I found, maybe after the Navy, I started to ease up a little bit. Like training like that anymore.
Yeah.
And after a couple of years, I felt it and in a negative way and got back to the squats and deadlifts. And there was nothing like the feeling of, it felt like every cell in your body was activated to meet that demand that the heavy lift placed on you.
That's right.
And so I think you take that out of the gym with you. You're...
And males, we feel better when we have higher testosterone.
Yeah.
I think actually females do too, but that's where the muscle bound thing actually still has played a part. Oh, if I lift heavy, I'll get, especially for the female part, I get too big.
Yeah.
For us, it's essential. We have to load the spinal column.
Yeah.
Produce testosterone. That way we feel how we're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Especially since a lot of us, our ancestors were, hunting and all that. So we have to, when we bring that back about our bodies, we remember, and it just, it's purposeful, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
So you've been experimenting a little bit with a technique that we use here called neurofeedback, okay? And you did this just the other day. So tell me your experience with it.
Well, it was fabulous. And one of the, mental and emotional things that's a challenge in the business that I'm in is just the demands. There's so many of them, they never stop, and you develop a little bit of adult ADD. It's hard to find the right thing to focus on. So, the first session, it was just a remarkable little break. But then when I get back to the office, the calm that I brought to my work and the ability to just cut through the noise and pick the important things that I needed to focus on, knock one off, get on to the next one. It was amazing. And I stayed in that place for about 3 days. And then it started to slip, and it's time to get back in. But
and something like that gives you such benefit. It makes sense to revisit maybe a regular practice, just like the resistance training that we always do. I know right now there would never be a week. I've tried. There's not going to be another week where it's like, oh yeah, we just won't lift any weights. No. Yeah. And you may or may not be the same. I see you working out all the time, so it must be the same. Those are the regular types of interventions that we have placed into our life to make sure that we can still complete everything we want to complete in a day. And now this, and I don't think on the channel I've talked too much about neurofeedback, so I may just throw that in here briefly. But what we have been practicing here at my club is neurofeedback. You hook in electrodes, earlobes, and head, and then you put headphones in, and the machine measures your neural output, and when something inappropriate is happening, you get a little cue auditorily. It's no energy actually goes into your head like TMS. So Larry tried this the other day and had really good outcomes. I've used it multiple times, 15 probably to this point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, it's here. So, of course, I'm going, I want to use it, and I do feel the same types of benefits as yourself. However, just from a standpoint of years on the earth, you have more going on in your head than I do. You know what I mean? I know. Okay, so 38 years of, there's still a lot in here. Much more in your head. These thoughts have to be compartmentalized.
Yeah.
And if they're not, it does become jumbled as you're stating. So,
Yeah.
but it's good to hear that. It's good to hear that feedback from you, especially on that. And you also use the vibration platform, I believe, as well.
I do. Again, back to a sedentary, stressful lifestyle, pain creeps in. So after a long trip, I before COVID, I used to fly a lot. I'd get in here, my hip hurt, or like one of my shoulders, and I'd heard others recommend the platform, and I can't. Another story. I came in here one morning and I did a class, and for the first time in a few weeks, I was completely pain-free. Nothing hurt. Yeah. And I did a second class, and then I bought a platform for the office.
Sure.
So no, I love it, and it seems to kind of realign, recenter, reinvigorate, and it's like a giant reset button. Yeah. It really. It's marvelous.
Well, when we're used to picking up heavier weight, and when you do that, the bigger muscles are going to go work and they're going to grab. This, I don't think your bigger muscles have enough time really. So the small intrinsic,
interesting, yeah.
And it's the small intrinsic ones are the ones that get painful because they get ignored. And so you think about the shoulder, you've got the entire deltoid group over here, but then beneath it is the rotator cuff that's very small, and people get more shoulder pain is rotator cuff than anything else. And you probably have heard that or know that or have even dealt with that. I don't know. But so the little ones that get ignored are usually the ones that cause the pain. So the platform allows the intrinsic muscles to fire and strengthens them at the same time. And when any muscle that has been dormant for a while gets some blood flow, it's like, I feel wonderful. And so there's a lot of that going on the platform, and that's why we love vibration, and that's why we hope that everybody on the planet will end up using it. I think it's a great daily intervention.
Yeah.
But so not to put you on the spot, but I like doing this with the guests. If there's one thing that you could tell other business owners out there, a strategy to make sure that they stay focused and, can really perform at their top performance every day, what would it be?
Find the time. Just make the time. I mean, one of the analogies that comes to my mind that I think of a lot is, again, back to air travel. The flight attendants would give you the briefing before takeoff, and it's always, in case of emergency, set up your own oxygen mask first, and then help any smaller children with you. So the takeaway is, hey, unless you're solid and secure, it could be any good to anybody else, your family, your team, whatever. So that's something that I, like a mantra I hold on to. So make the time for it. I mean, it's an incredible investment. You being in tip-top shape is going to be a gift to your family, to your boss, to your employees, whatever your situation is. And then keep it fun. I mean, there are enough chores and drudgery in life. That's why I mix it up. Keep it fun, and like Nike says, just do it.
Well, Larry, that's huge. And I have said that before myself too. You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of everybody else. And when you're taking care of yourself, you take care of everybody else, anybody that comes across your path that day, much more effectively. And then that just leads to everything. That leads to everything being better, it appears. So I appreciate your time. I look forward to our future friendship.
Oh, yeah. It's a pleasure being on.
No,
Thanks for having
me. It's always fun to be around you. And, obviously you're right around the corner. So look forward to many, many years of friendship with you, and thanks for your time. And thank you all for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you again on the Economic Fitness channel.